So let's continue talking about tips having to do with typing. In System Preferences, if you go to Keyboard and then you look in the main section under Keyboard, there's modifier keys. You click that button and notice that you can change what keys what keys do. So in other words, I can have the Control key be the Command key and the Command key be the Control key. I highly recommend you do not do this, because what happens is you switch something, you use it for a while, and now it's very hard to use another Mac, sit at somebody else's computer, that kind of thing. Very difficult. But the one that you may want to play with is Caps Lock. Caps Lock isn't something people really use that much. So you can switch Caps Lock to be something else, or just disable it. If you find you accidentally hit Caps Lock and then start typing all caps without noticing, you can disable it. Go to No Action. Now, in System Preferences, there's some other things that we can do. So this is also in System Preferences under Keyboard, but this time under Text. And here's the list of text replacements. And you can use text replacements for so many things. For simple things like OMW for On My Way. So you can see that's one here. You can see I can edit the what to replace with what here. So when I'm typing, like here I am in text edit, OMW space, and it replaces it with On My Way. Likewise, I have some even longer ones, like GC Help is here, and that's like maybe to respond to somebody by email, GC Help, and you can see it tells you what it's going to replace it with before you hit the space bar. And it's a whole thing. You could put a full address, a paragraph, all sorts of stuff, and you can use this to really optimize what you do. So you can do small things like 1/3 is replaced with the 1/3 symbol, or the left parentheses C, right parentheses replaced with the copyright symbol, or you can do really long things here. Just hit the plus button to add a new one at the bottom, and it's that easy to use text replacement. Mac Power users have tons of text replacements that they're using. Similar to text replacements, there's something called text transformations, but they're not replacing one thing with another. They're just replacing the text in a certain manner. Go to Edit and you go to Transformations, and you can do make uppercase, or make lowercase, or capitalize. So that's handy to know, especially that capitalized one. If you want to capitalize like a whole headline or something, or if you get some text and it's all uppercase, converting it all to lowercase and then just capitalizing what you need manually is a lot easier than retyping it completely. Now notice sometimes you get suggestions when you're typing something. You can force the Mac to give you suggestions. So for instance, you can type and start typing the word encyclopedia, and I'm going to hit F5, and you may need to use the FN key here as well, but F5 works for me. And then you get a list of suggestions, and you can take the first one or arrow down between them. So it's really useful to be able to just get those suggestions there when you're not sure how to spell something. So this one last tip for this video is more of a reading tip than a writing tip. Let's say you have a bunch of text. I'm going to paste some text in here, and it's an article. You can have your Mac automatically summarize it for you, or at least try to do its best. First, you have to enable it. So go into System Preferences, and Keyboard Shortcuts, and go to Services. And under Services, you have to look for the Summarize option, and it's under the Text category, and you turn it on. So now that it's on, we don't have to assign a keyboard shortcut to it. Now that it's on, we can select the text. I'm going to Command-8 select all and Control-click on it. And one of the things that I could do is under Services here, I should see Summarize. I selected that, and it's going to come up with this little window here where I can say how I want to summarize this, and it will remove text from it. So you can bring it all the way to the left to summarize it as much as possible. And it's using some logic there to figure out what are the important pieces of the text. So sometimes it works great and sometimes not so great, but it's good to know and maybe play around with a little bit. And here's one more tip. This is something that comes in handy, and I'm going to create a new text edit document here. I'm going to switch it to rich text, so it's kind of like working in Pages, so I can type and style things. So like I can bold that there. Now, when you have style text like that, if you were to go to another source with style text, like here's that Wikipedia article, I'm going to select a section and hide that. If I paste it in, notice how I get it in the font and style, and even with the colored text and the underline and the HTML and everything. But I don't want that. I just wanted it in plain text. In fact, I wanted it at whatever the format is now, Helvetica 22 point and all. Well, the way to handle that is that you see here it says paste. There's paste and match style. And you can use the keyboard shortcut there, the Option Shift Command V. And when I use that, you can see it stays with the same style. So it strips all of the styling off of the text and places, basically pastes it without styling as plain text. Very handy.